Its shorter, more streamlined body made it a fantastic swimmer. It could easily chase down and catch prey. It's believed they mainly fed on ammonites, using their hard, blunt teeth to crack open the shells. Welcome to Nature Explorers. We normally talk about animals that are alive and on the earth today. Instead, for the next couple of times we meet, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to go back in time. I borrowed a time machine. Don't worry, it's bigger than it looks. And we're going to use this to go back, way back in time to prehistoric times, to see some animals that were alive millions of years ago. Last time we looked at pterosaurs, flying reptiles like the pterodactyl. This time we're on the hunt for the swimming reptiles, the plesiosaurs. At this point, I should ask that you please keep all hands and items inside the time machine while we're traveling. Thank you! The earliest plesiosaurs showed up on the Earth around 203 million years ago, during the late Triassic period. At the time, the Earth looked kind of like this. The supercontinent of Pangaea was just starting to break apart into the continents we know today. Earth was also recovering from a massive extinction event that happened at the end of the previous period, the Permian. That mass extinction removed up to 95% of all sea life and 70% of all land vertebrates from the Earth. That means they were never to be seen again. This opened the door for new life to emerge, including the plesiosaurs. Like the flying reptiles of last time, the swimming reptiles are not considered true dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are defined as reptiles whose legs were directly beneath their bodies. This gave them an upright stance and helped to support their weight of their massive bodies. This is different from the sprawling stance, where the legs stick out to the side. This is a stance we can see in modern crocodiles and Komodo dragons. Since plesiosaurs' legs do not sit directly under their bodies, they are considered cousins of dinosaurs, but not actually true dinosaurs. Their name means near lizards, and they lived in the massive oceans of prehistoric Earth. They were carnivores, or meat eaters. They ate fish, cephalopods, bivalves, and even each other. Plesiosaurs had broad, flat bodies and kind of short tails. And their limbs didn't end in feet like land reptiles. Instead, they had 4 long flippers, which were powered by strong muscles attached to their shoulders and their hips. These flippers propelled them through the water. Yet despite living in the water, plesiosaurs didn't have gills like fish. They breathed air. In general, plesiosaurs have 2 main body types. One group had long, sometimes extremely long necks and small heads. Members of this group tended to be slow and focused on catching small sea creatures to eat. They likely used their long necks to catch prey, quickly stretching out their necks to gobble up tasty things that swam too close, kind of like a snake does. The other main group, some of whom reached sizes up to 50 feet long, had short necks and large heads. Members of this group were fast apex predators who liked to hunt large prey. They had powerful jaws and looked kind of similar to whales of today. One of the smallest of the long-necked swimmers was Plesiosaurus. These creatures could reach lengths of around 11 feet. They had long, snake-like necks that were almost as long as their bodies. It is estimated that they weighed around 1,000 pounds. The first complete Plesiosaurus skeleton was found in 1823 by Mary Anning in England. Despite being water dwellers, they weren't very good swimmers. In fact, they swam kind of slowly. Their bodies weren't really streamlined and developed for quick movements through the water. We've looked at one of the smallest of the long-necked swimmers, but which one was among the largest? That was the Selassimidin. These creatures could grow around 40 feet in length. They had massively long necks that were made up of 62 vertebrae. In comparison, our necks have just 7 vertebrae, so that's a very long neck. Each of their 4 flippers alone could reach lengths between 5 to 6.6 feet. Insane, right? But the interesting thing about Selassimidin is that stones have often been found with their fossils, around where their stomachs would have been. Scientists believe they may have swallowed rocks to help them digest food. The first Selassimidin fossil was found in 1943. Its name means Sea Lord. So we've seen some long-necked swimmers running around, but what about the short-necked ones? One of the smallest of the short-necked swimmers was Polonius. This name means mud swimmer. It could reach lengths of around 10 feet. A fifth of that length was just made of its skull. It had a much shorter neck than Selassimidin had, with only 21 vertebrae compared to 62. Its shorter, more streamlined body made it a fantastic swimmer. It could easily chase down and catch prey. It's believed they mainly fed on ammonites, using their hard, blunt teeth to crack open the shells. Lyoplaradon was one of the largest of the short-necked swimmers. Their name means smooth-sided teeth. They could grow to lengths of around 30 feet. While long, people initially thought they were much, much larger, nearly 80 feet in length. The reason for this was Lyoplaradon has a massive head. Not a lot of fossils of Lyoplaradon have been found. To determine the size of the animal, scientists use the head to estimate the total body length. Since the head of Lyoplaradon is so large compared to the overall body size, the initial guess was much too big. While not as large as people initially thought, these were heavy creatures who could weigh up to an estimated 10 tons or 20,000 pounds. They were also apex predators, gobbling up fish, squids, and other ocean creatures. Like Polonius, their more compact bodies and shorter necks made them more streamlined and faster in the water. Well, that's all for this trip. I'd better get this time machine back to its owner. I'll see you in 2 weeks for our next trip through time. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay curious. Bye, everyone.